Hello you guys, it's Grace, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my favorite books and series of 2016. So these aren't necessarily books that were published in 2016, but they are books I finished this year. So I'm really excited to talk to you guys about this. I'm sorry for how weird I look. It's really cold in my room, and I'm sick, so my voice sounds weird and I just look weird, so sorry about that, but we're gonna make this video anyway. So they're in order from 5 to 1, 1 being my favorite. Number 5 on my list is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. I enjoyed this book a lot more than I thought I would. It follows two twins who were really close when they were younger, but as they grew older, they grew more competitive for their parents' love, and they just started to drift apart from each other. You learn more about their art and you kind of grow with them. You hear from Noah when they're 13 and 14, and you hear from Jude when they're 16. So their stories kind of just intertwine, and you just get to hear about their childhood and growing up, and I just thought it was very beautiful. I loved the romances in the story, and the whole thing was just great. It gave you the warm fuzzies. Oh, it was just really great, and I highly recommend it to anybody. Number 4 on my list is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. So the books in this are Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, Hollow City, and Library of Souls, and I really enjoyed this series as well. It was just wonderful and kind of magic. It follows a young boy who has been told stories by his grandfather since he was very little, and when he was little he believed all of the stories, but as he grew older he kind of started to doubt them and kind of thought his grandfather was just, telling stories. His grandfather ends up passing away. He is killed by something, and his grandfather's dying words are kind of mysterious, and they lead the main character on a chase to find out what he was talking about and try to understand his grandfather's past. The movie came out this year, and the movie was awesome as well, so I would highly recommend reading the series before you watch the movies, or even if you have seen the movie already. The book is very different and is amazing, so I highly recommend this trilogy as well. Number 3 on my list is the Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo. I just loved it so much. I loved the diversity of the characters. There were characters of different ethnicity, sexuality, all of this stuff, so I just really enjoyed it. It was great. It was very fast-paced, very interesting. It just kept me thinking the whole time. It follows this group of kids, and they are all kind of like a strange bunch. They steal, they do all of these things, so they're not really perfect characters. They're very flawed, and I think that's part of their charm. I just loved the characters in this book. It's very character driven, but the plot is also amazing. I was just so enthralled by the entire story and how they did this. The story is they go on these heists. Each book has a different really big heist, and then there's some side stories that they have to do to get there. So it's really interesting. I loved it so much. It takes place in the Grishaverse, I think is what it's called. So I'm really excited to read the Grisha trilogy as well. So this was just amazing. If you haven't read it yet, read it, because look at these books. A, they're gorgeous on the outside. B, they're gorgeous on the inside, so you better read them. Number 2 on my list is The Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare. You're probably all surprised I haven't read this trilogy before this year, but I haven't. This was my first time reading this trilogy. I don't know why I put it off for so long, but it is definitely one of my new favorites ever in the universe. I loved it so much. The characters were amazing. I loved the story. It was amazing. Will Herondale. My 2 words to describe how much I love it. So, yeah, the books are Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess, and they are just so wonderful. You always are surprised when the next book is even better than the one before it, because I loved the first book, I loved the second book even more, and then the third book was beyond compare. I just loved it so much. The ending just was heart-shattering, and I just loved it so much. Love Tessa, love Will, love Jem, love every character pretty much. It's just wonderful. It follows Tessa, and she finds out that she can shapeshift, and everyone wants her because they think they can use her as a weapon, and then she finds refuge in the Shadowhunters, so they kind of rescue her. There's a lovely love triangle, one of the love triangles that I am very fond of, and it's just a wonderful trilogy. Alright, and then my number one favorite book of 2016 is A Court of Mist and Fury. I don't actually have the book because I lent it to a friend, and it's just wonderful. I also have A Court of Thorns and Roses on the, technically on the list because I really did enjoy this, but it was nothing compared to A Court of Mist and Fury. A Court of Mist and Fury was basically the most amazing romance I have ever read. I loved it so much. This book is my guilty pleasure. I know it's not a super diverse book. I love it, okay? It was my favorite book this year, and I just want to reread it again and again and again and again. Okay? Okay. Alright, so that was my 5 favorite reads of 2016. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it. Also, comment below what your favorite books of 2016 were. And also subscribe to my channel so you never miss another video. I'll see you next time. Bye!